Composure. Hey guys, so today I'm here with Lizzie, who is going to be talking through some of her top tips for travelling abroad. It's from the chapter Travel in my new book, which if you haven't already had a look through, go into the description or on my Instagram page, and it should have all the information there. There's an ebook and the paperback, and I would love to hear your thoughts and see pictures of you with the book. So today, Lizzie, modelling. How did you start modelling? What's the story?
Okay, so it was a little under 10 years ago. Now that makes me sound old. Yeah, so I started 10 years ago. My parents signed me up for a competition in London. We were living in Malaga, Spain at the time, and they entered me in this competition, and on the flight to London, my sister's friend was sitting there, and she was also a model. Well, she was a model at the time, and she was on her way to a fitting for London Fashion Week, and she said that I was more than welcome to go with her if I fancied it, to meet the client, the designer, and see.
No, nothing.
It's
just exciting. Like, it's such like a cool story. I'm like, I was on a plane.
So I was on this plane, and yeah, my sister's friend, yeah, she invited me along, so I went. He measured me up, and I got the job. So I walked. My first job was walking for London Fashion Week, which was fun at the time. I was so nervous, nearly lost my shoe on the catwalk. Yeah, but it was alright.
I think that's like every model's fear though.
Yeah.
It's like, don't fall over, don't fall over, don't lose
Honestly,
a shoe.
it was horrible. If you look back, I don't know if you can see it, maybe they cut it out of their video, but yeah, it looked, maybe what's
Is the video still there?
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube. Hasty Juice. Check me out. It's awful. I mean, it was nice,
Yeah.
But you know, when you're like, before you're a model, you're like, okay, when I'm a model, I'm not gonna wear anything funny, I'm not gonna look silly, but then you're actually in it, and yeah, you can't choose what you wear. You get given it.
So that was in London. What did you do after that?
So after the show, I met some photographers and some stylists and all those sorts of people. And I did a shoot for one of the stylists actually in London. And then when I went back to Spain, I think it was a few days later, I said, you know what, I'm going to go to an agency. So I went to one in my area, Marbella. And from there I got a few jobs, like little ones, but yeah, it was good. That's how I started.
And then you started travelling after that?
Yeah, so I think it was like a year later. I did like a few fashion shows, and so I was getting my book together and shooting with some photographers. And I was approached by a mother agent who, funny enough, were in Melbourne, Australia. Yeah. It was weird, but so I signed with them, and I had my first contract, which was for Turkey.
Okay.
Istanbul.
At
the end, yeah, that was the end of 2010.
Okay, and then after Istanbul, you then went to
China. Yes, I did. Yeah, I was in Istanbul for 3 months over Christmas, which was sad. I wouldn't recommend traveling over Christmas. It's just heartbreaking, especially if it's your first one. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to be good. I'm not going to break my contract. I'm just going to do what I have to do. But yeah, I would do things differently. Definitely not go over Christmas time.
Yeah.
And then I came back from there. Didn't really earn any money there because I didn't understand all the pocket money and everything, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, then from there I went to China.
Cool. In China, how long were you in China for?
Well, I was meant to go to China for 3 months and ended up staying 3.5 years because I loved it
Just
so much.
Yeah,
it was good. Yeah, it was. So I was in Guangzhou for 4 months.
Yeah.
And then I went to Shanghai for 3 months to see if I liked it better there, but I worked so much better in Guangzhou, and I had a lot of friends there that were freelance already, so they sort of helped me get in the freelance side of things instead of having an agency, so that was good. I was lucky.
And what was your sort of best moment travelling? Like, if there was like a highlight to be, travelling is great, this was amazing, what would that be?
Well, the thing about like being independent when you're not at home with your family anymore, which is sad, but at the same time you're finding yourself, you find things on your feet, and to be put in it's like throwing you into the deep end.
Yeah.
You're not just going to uni where you're sort of looked after, well, maybe not looked after, but you know what I mean, like you're just thrown in there. The most exciting experience I had was Indonesia. The jobs were great, the people were great, the people in my agency were great. She was an it girl, the owner, so she was very like high fly. Everybody knew her. We were walking around, we were like, oh, here we are. So I guess we got treated. Well, people did get treated better there. They would ask you what you wanted to eat instead of just assuming that you wanted McDonald's or a rice box, or whatever they had on the menu that day. But yeah, the jobs were a lot more professional than they were in Turkey. I feel like I wasn't as comfortable in Turkey as I was in China.
Yeah, and so then
Indonesia.
And so low light, probably how you found your experience
in Turkey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So my agency were nice. They were good. They looked after me. It was just the fact that it was model houses, like model apartments. You couldn't really choose who you lived with, and some of the girls were nice, and then some of them were bitch. And I was not used to that kind of, the cattiness of some of the girls.
Yeah.
I'd never, like at school and that, I got on well with everyone, but then you go to the modelling world and people can come across as rude and just really catty. And the clients in Turkey weren't the best I've ever had. Like they were a bit rude and they were just rude.
Not as good as
Indonesia. Not as good as Indonesia. And China was fun, but it was the language. You're in your own little bubble there. Like.
Yeah. So what would be like? Let's use China as an example. What would be your typical day being a model with an agency in China?
With an agency, okay, so you get picked up early hours, and you're living in a model apartment, remember, so there's at least 6 of you in a house and 1 bathroom, 2 if you're lucky. So you've got to plan
you're lucky.
The day before who gets into the bathroom first. I was always the first one because I didn't mind getting up.
Yeah.
I always thought you'd have to be up like 2 or 3 hours before you needed to go anywhere to get dressed and compose yourself, get ready for the day, because I used to get really nervous for castings. So you get picked up in a car provided by the agency, and you all get in the same one, and you all get taken to your individual casting. So you'd be in a car, and they would we'd be going to your casting, for example, for blonde hair, which at the time I wasn't blonde. So you'd have to wait for all them to do their casting, and then you'd get to go to yours, and the lines, like the queues would be awful because they wouldn't give you an agency a set time. It would just be like first come first serve, so you're standing there or waiting there for hours. So you start probably at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you probably get home 6, 7 o'clock from castings, and you probably either had 1 or 2 castings that day.
Wow.
So it is, I would rather go, like when I was a freelance, I used to get myself to castings. That was so much easier.
Yeah.
Because you could go whenever you wanted then, and not have the hassle of being in a car full of people that you can't speak to because they don't speak English, or you just don't get on with them because they're catty. I promise I was never one of those girls. I was just like, talk to me, anybody talk to me. Friendly.
And so what would be your top tips for like anyone who is thinking about travelling, has got jobs coming up where they are travelling, or just been like signed and given a contract?
I would say what I would have done is read through your contract way better than I did. Like just make sure you've got someone else that's reading it with you. Anything I get these days, I just ask my boyfriend to help me with. So always have someone look over. I used to just skim through it. I would say flights were a big issue for me because they would always choose the flights for you. And then send you and you would be so excited that you were actually going to a new country that you were like, anything. But I had bad experiences with flights, and I would check them, make sure that you're happy with them, make sure that you're happy to fly to those destinations first, because sometimes you've got to do the connection flights. Yeah. And I was in Guangzhou for 10 hours once waiting for my flight to Hong Kong, which I would have done differently if I'd known. Yeah. I'd been smart about things. Check your model apartment. I would check the people just message some people. I know it's out there and you know you're a stranger to them, but at the same time you are going to meet them when you go to the agency. So send them a message, ask them what their experience is like with that agency, what the model house is like, send some photos of the model apartment. I would, well, being in China, the food was so different, so I would take some bits with you. I know it's taking up room in the luggage, but I would rather take food and things like comfort, like home comforts, than clothes, as you can roll that. But yeah.
And lastly, what would be your 3 top tips
To take,
like with traveling, you know, extra fees or visas or stuff you wish you'd have taken with you, kind of?
So always make sure you've got money, enough money, like in your bank or in your wallet, whatever you choose to take. I guess nowadays it's, back in the day you had your little, I used to hide it in my suitcase, but nowadays you just have a card. I would have extra money just in case. You never know if you don't get on with someone in the agency and you want a flight home, you don't have to wait for them to do it for you, just have that. Make sure your visas are right. I know in China they give you a 3-month visa for modelling, and then you have to leave the country and then re-enter again in a few months' time. Yeah, just make sure all your paperwork's up together. Make sure you've got your contract signed from them as well, and make sure you take some home comforts. Like, I would have taken a pillow, just because I needed something that was mine, or a teddy. I used to take my teddies as well, just so you know it does get lonely, even though you're with a lot of people around you all the time. It does get lonely. So having a nice photo of your family, your doggy, or your loved ones is always helpful.
Yeah, and then last thing was something else we were talking about was pocket money.
Oh yeah.
I think when you go abroad, like agencies sometimes give you a bit of pocket money to help you out at the beginning. Like, how does that work? How was your experiences with it? Would you do it? Like, would you accept the pocket money? Like,
well, if I would have gone with my own money, then maybe not, because they do take it out of your fee. So anything like the flights, the accommodation, and your pocket money, they do take out of your fee, like when you're working. So you are working to pay those things off. It's not just, I used to think, oh, it's like a free, you know, I'm going there for free. It's not. And they get to choose the apartment for you, so you don't know how much like the rent is somewhere else. You know, you could be paying double just because they're trying to get more money off the girls, or the boys, which isn't fair. So I would, I would take the pocket money if you needed it. Just know that they do take that from you, and sometimes it's not enough. So like I said, it's better to have more money in the bank, just for in case just for in case just in case you need it. To buy anything out there.
all the clothes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thanks.
Thank you
for sharing your knowledge.
You have to read the book, it's great.
And Lizzie's been lots of help with writing the book and looking over the travel section and helping out with that kind of stuff. So if you want to do more about travel, then please check out the book, and also all the other areas that we cover.
A lot of areas, I'm telling you.
Like I said, all the info will be in the description box or on my Instagram. I will also tag Lizzie's Instagram, so you can go follow her and check out all of her other travels that are to come. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you tune into the next video. Thanks. Bye!
Bye!